right, we've got a couple small but mighty updates this week. We're going to keep it short and sweet for you. You're not going to want to miss this week's weekly breakdown coming up right now. All right, guys, for 2 weeks in a row now that we have RSS feed updates from HighLevel, which is interesting because RSS is not something that you'll hear talked about very often. If you don't remember, RSS is actually the process that we use to make sure that we stay up to date on HighLevel's changelog. So if you go to changelog, I believe it's changelog.gohighlevel.com. Nope, that's wrong. Ideas.gohighlevel.com. If you go there, you go to the changelog, you can use this RSS feed to automatically stay up to date, whether that means you're sending out emails, or in our case, what we do is we create these cards for each one of these entries. We automatically, as it comes out, we create a card. It gets dropped into this to review category. I go through each one to make sure that they're things that we want to cover in the breakdown, and then I move them accordingly. So all this is done and driven by the RSS functionality, or RSS feed functionality. RSS is not unique to HighLevel by any means, but HighLevel is one of the only companies that I see continuing to invest in RSS, which is cool because it's a cool technology. Like I said, I think I showed you guys last week the fact that you could look up like mortgage RSS. And if you go there, Mortgage News Daily has some. If you go to FeedSpot, let's look. Mortgage Reports has an RSS feed. Truth About Mortgage has an RSS. American Pacific. All these guys have RSS feeds where you can subscribe and get the updates from these different feeds automatically. The Mortgage News Daily one has one for rate updates, for example. Like, this would be a great idea if you had agents that you wanted to have on a rate watch or something like that, or clients that you wanted to have on a rate watch. You could set up an automation around that, right? So all that's done, made possible through RSS. HighLevel supports the ability to automatically send emails out with that RSS data in it. I've never used it, and part of the reason is because they don't give you a lot of ability to customize how that data looks, but more importantly, how much of that data you want to show. So I'm going to show you how you can do that. So inside the email builder, I'm inside the email builder right now. You'll notice that you have a couple items in here, RSS header and RSS items. Your header is going to look something like this, right? This is a header, right? And then maybe there's a description on top of that. Or maybe this is the description, I'm not sure. But that for sure is a header, right? So depending on feed title, right? So you have your title and you have your description. Then you can list out the actual items themselves by dragging over here and going to RSS items, okay? The thing is you don't know how many items there are going to be. And before, you couldn't define how many items you wanted to limit this to. So this could end up being a crazy long email that just makes no sense at all, depending on how often that feed is getting updated. If you want to set this up and make sure that you're not overcrowding the email with RSS feed updates, right? If you're not make sure you're not sending 10 updates at a time. You can come in here, you can paste your RSS feed URL, you can define how frequently you want to send this, and then you can say, hey, I want to make sure that no more than 3 goes out. So that means if I'm doing this weekly and more than 3 came out, then it's going to pick the 3 most recent and it's only going to send those ones. Again, the purpose for this is that if you do use this functionality, if you use the RSS feed, if you create an email with the RSS feed, you want to have some predictability to what that email is going to look like, to make sure that you can design around it, to make sure that it doesn't end up getting way crowded with too much information. And ultimately losing the effect that you're going for. So this is now possible thanks to a new update from HighLevel, where you can edit the number of feeds that you want to include in your RSS and define the intervals at which these will be sent. So really cool. If you haven't learned about RSS, I imagine I'm going to keep talking about it. Again, with HighLevel, typically things kind of come in waves. I posted our example, our use case inside the HighLevel group for RSS, and people went nuts over it. So I do expect to see more around this RSS feed functionality going forward. Definitely wouldn't be a bad idea to brush up on it if you're somewhat technical and you want to try and tackle sending out automated updates like this. All right, next up, I just wanted to do a quick plug for some new templates, right? As always, we get the update for new templates. If we look at the new templates, we can look at the list here. We've got copywriting, health insurance, real estate agent. If we come down, a whole new snapshot is available. So I don't typically go through the snapshot templates in here, but definitely something to go check out. I don't know how the template, like the original templated snapshots, are awful, so check it out, right? If you have an agency account, go load the snapshot. Let me know what you think. Otherwise, emails, sites, surveys, forms, funnels, all of these things support template functionality. So there are tons of templates in here, preloaded by HighLevel or by creatives that are using HighLevel. If you come in and you get super familiar with these, then what you can do is you can just, anytime you hear that there's new templates that come out, just come in here and go to most recent, and you only are looking at the ones that exist since the last time that you checked this out. We did have, while we were on our offsite with our clients in Jacksonville, we were with First Coast Mortgage out there. We did have a couple LOs that took one of these templates inside of here and used it to create their own newsletter format, and it ended up looking really, really cool. So definitely recommend this. Come in here, check it out. There are newsletter style templates in here where you could just go in, and it already has the layout. Swap out your images, swap out your colors, and go. So again, templates, go check them out. Do not think that your best bet is going into one of these builders and starting with a blank canvas. Always start with one of these templates, and I promise you're gonna be better off. All right, guys, we've got a couple updates this week that do not require a screen share, so I'm going to knock them out really quick. Number one, you now have the ability to upload font files within your media storage. And so I think the relevance in this is that you couldn't upload font files at all before, not necessarily where you uploaded font files, but now you have the ability to upload font files in media storage. I'm assuming at that point that it's going to, inside your account, it's going to read that font file exists, and then now show this as a font anywhere you go throughout the system. So this would be really, really cool. This means that you now have no limitation on what font you can use inside of HighLevel. Definitely check that out if you guys have any questions on it, or you get to try it out. Let us know for sure. Definitely interested to hear what your experience is with this. And lastly, built into HighLevel to your lead connector phone system, if you have phone number validation turned on, you now have incoming call phone validation. So when somebody calls you and it's a number that you don't know, it's gonna scrub and see if it can find a caller ID, like a public caller ID record for it, and associate it to that number as it calls in. So potentially identify who it is. And if not, then it also will do the spam likely thing that our phones do for us, right? So now you'll be notified when a call is coming in and it's spam likely. So if you guys are using HighLevel and you get some spam calls now and then, now you'll have an easier ability to discern which ones are spam, and therefore pay attention to the ones that matter. All right, guys, that is it for this week's weekly breakdown. Again, short and sweet. We're waiting for those next big updates coming from HighLevel. Stay tuned. You definitely won't want to miss them when they do come out. They could be around the corner at any point, right? We know that from experience. Guys, thank you so much for watching this week's weekly breakdown. Stay tuned for next week's, but until then, we'll see you at the top.